And we are live. MoneyPot is back. I had COVID, y'all. It was tough. It was a rough week and a half, man. So if y'all watching right now, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, especially hit that like button if you don't fuck with COVID, because I know I don't. That shit was terrible, man. Let's go.
Yo, come on, man.
Hey, dog.
Yo, Money Pop about to start.
I know I'm coming, man.
Yeah, grab your notepad, man, for real.
Alright, dog, fuck it, man. Come on.
Yeah, man, they be spitting shit, man.
True.
Yeah.
Sorry, dog. I never go.
Money talk. All they do is talk flights. Bird gang. All they do is talk stacks. 360 on the new view. Go run, tell that. 40 yard dash, Money Podcast. I pass that
And we are live. MoneyPot Podcast back, man. Sorry we missed you last week. Like I said in the beginning, man, I was out with COVID, man, so I was down and out for the count. But I'm back. I'm feeling good, feeling blessed. And I got my boys with me. I got B. Diddy, Renzo. What's up, boys?
What up?
Hey, man. We were just talking early before we jumped on, man. I was the last one with it, man. Sheesh.
Yeah.
That shit put me down, man. That shit put me down big time, man. But it feels good to be back. I, talked to B. Diddy, man. He gave me some tips, what helped him. So I'm drinking my tea. My man, my other man told me make sure that old school thing, drop some whiskey in the tea. So a little early, but hey, anything. Day 10. I'm on day 10, and I'm still fighting. Still fighting COVID, man. So if y'all out there, man, y'all had COVID, man, drop that like button, man. But oh man, it's been a tough week. But let's not get too much over. Everybody know about COVID right now. They here to talk about money. They here to talk about gambling. We got some big questions along the way. We got our poll question as well. Let me see if I can bring that thing up, man.
Good to see you back, man. Good to see you fighting through. And
appreciate
like I said,
that.
we'll continue to
Appreciate that.
stay focused, and you'll be back to full health in no time, man.
Yeah, man.
Blessed that you was able to kind of to all those that weren't able to. So
Yeah, true.
Guess we're
Yeah,
the lucky ones.
Yeah, it was a little bit shaky for me too, because I have asthma, so I would be considered high risk. But thank God that my asthma really didn't flare up, during the time. So yeah, I appreciate that. But our poll question of the day, man, and the way we do it on our show is that we're going to talk about the poll question in the beginning, and then we'll do our whole show. But throughout the whole show, we'll answer questions. We'll see what everybody's talking about. I think, excuse me, I think that the poll question of the day is agree or disagree, man. The Eagles can win the NFC East. And I think that being in the city, I think that the media is supercharging what we're seeing. I'm not sure if you guys have been paying attention of things coming out of training camp, but I've seen all these kind of stats about how Jalen Hurts is lighting it up in training camp. And I'm not sure if, for me, the fan of me is like, oh, my antennas go up. Oh, he has 6 touchdowns, no picks, 1 rushing touchdown, and he's like, 40 or 50, right now in training camp, right? So what exactly does that mean? Who's coming up with these stats? Are these in 7-on-7? Are these on red zone? Are we actually in a live period where they're banging and they're thudding, or is this just on air? Where people, where the hype was anyway, the hype train was anyway, right? His hype videos of him, just throwing on air. So I feel the sense of the Eagle fan base, like, hey, we got a shot. Hey, we got a shot. And from both of your faces right now, I can already say it. We got no shot. we got no shot because y'all faces are dry, no emotional, no response, no nothing. Chris, I'm gonna go with you, man. Agree or disagree, man? The Eagles can win this NFC East, and don't and when you answer this question, bro, don't say, yeah, well, we can, like we can. No, I want to know: are the Eagles going to win the NFC East 2021, man? Let the people know.
That, that's funny because that's exactly how I was going to answer it. No, the Eagles aren't going to win the NFC East, man. And I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. You guys know that from last year. I think he could come out and surprise. I think he is going to come out and surprise a lot of people. I don't think the expectations are too high for him. But,
Right.
Being that the expectations are where they are, I think he can surpass those for sure. I really like Jalen Hurts, man. And I think he can have a better year than thought of. I think that means we could have a better year than thought of. But when you look at it, I mean, you got Dallas, who obviously is high power offensively. I would think that they're favored to win. I can't see how they don't get to 10, 11 wins unless it's just the Cowboys being the Cowboys. But even teams like the Redskins and the Giants, just knowing where the defenses are and knowing they know how to play right, they coach well. They got some veterans on the teams over there, so it's just tough. I mean, I think you got to go. You got 6 games versus those teams.
Right.
Can you go 3-3 there? I don't know. I think that would be the best you would get out of that. So that means you got to go, 7 and whatever that's 7-10 the rest of the games that you play. You got to go 70% the rest of the games again to get to like 10 wins.
Yeah.
Probably where it takes to win NFC East. So I just think it's a long stretch. I would, if I had to put money anywhere, I would say
I'm about to say you wouldn't put money on it. Yeah, and we're going. And don't forget, y'all. Obviously, this is a gambling show, and we like to talk about our Eagles, and obviously, we're all avid Eagles fans. But we're going to have a show where we're breaking down each division and who is, where we're going to put our money is, and you know what I mean. And that's a great segue to B Diddy because he loves the early divisional bets that that he kills every year, where he picks those winners. So I think it's a little early for that right now. The odds are probably telling of that as well. But you can remember you got to go through camp, you got to go through injuries. You got to go through any trades or anything that changes during the beginning of the summer. So, excuse me. So just make sure that you guys hit that notification button. Make sure you know that when we're going live, because best believe we're going to go through every division and we're going to pick some winners and we're going to get some money. B Diddy, man, real quick, answer to the poll question: can the Eagles win the NFC East? Agree or disagree? Like I said, man, give me a definite answer. It's a yes or no. I don't want to hear that. They can. You know what I mean? Tell how it is, bro.
I'm an Eagles fan. You can see behind me, got an Eagle thing right there. Listen, no.
There it is. That's what I want to
I
hear.
disagree with the poll. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I think what we're seeing right now is what we should be seeing, right? A quarterback. First off, we never question, and we've always said this in the show, we're not questioning Jalen Hurts' ability as far as hardworking. He puts in the work and the time. He's a good team player. He seems to grab, to pull the team together, and that seems to be his motto. I think we just questioned his ability to take a team to the next level because of his passing ability. I think that's key. Now, he has a lot of years to improve on that. So will he get better? Absolutely. Are we talking about over a off season that he's going to be leading this team to a playoff opportunity with the receivers that we have right now? No. So I'm going to stick to those veterans that have been in this game a long time, like the Cowboys, right? Like a Giants team that got their best player back. Hopefully he'll be probably back on the field soon with Saquon Barkley, and got a defense that's really stout enough. How about the Washington team that we already know a defense that's in the top 5 and only going to get better because they're a young defense and they're solidified at every level of the defensive side of the ball. And they added Alex Smith to the team. I'm sorry, not Alex Smith.
Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick, who we all know is a gunslinger, and with those receivers, those speedy receivers on the outside, he's going to be able to get them the ball. So the answer to the question is no. We will not win the NFC East because there's better teams in our division. Bottom line.
Bottom line.
Now, are we going to get better? I believe so. Has Jalen Hurts possibly got better over the offseason? I also believe so because I think he has that character as a kid. But is the team better? No.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that some of the big questions that are coming out of this training camp that we're seeing. Man, it's COVID, man. I got to drink this tea. Excuse me. The things that we're seeing out of this training camp is obviously the ridiculous of stats, right? Training camp stats. You know what I mean? They need something to talk about. And then we're starting to see some of the battles that we kind of knew that was going to come on. Obviously, the biggest battle I think coming out of this is going to be who's going to be your left tackle. From what I've seen and from what I've heard, Manalata is in the lead of that. Diller's had some rough ones, and it is just seeming like he's just a bust at this point. And then
just an extension.
Who?
I
Diller?
we just extended Diller. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I read it wrong.
No. We didn't extend any of them. Malalata is up for an extension, but the question is, are you going to pay him, $100 million? You know what I mean? Because to me, he's somewhat still improving, and at best, he could be a starting offensive lineman. I wouldn't say left tackle, but maybe at best he's your first rotational guy off if somebody gets hurt, where he can play right, he can play left, he can play guard, he can play everything outside of center. And then what's up with the I don't know if y'all saw this, man. What's up with Rager? You know what I mean? He failed his physical.
Yeah, failed his physical.
Like, how crazy is that?
Well, I did read, though, he did lose his best friend over this offseason. One of his buddies he grew up with.
Oh, okay.
I believe I read that right. He did lose a friend. So I'm sure he probably was distracted, probably still distracted mentally. I'm sure that's tough. He's a young kid. Losing your best friend, I think is tough. So, I know you still got a job to do coming in.
Absolutely.
I guess was it overweight, or I don't know what is not conditioned.
I guess him and Barnett, they failed it. Like, what is that? Barnett, like, dog, you're on a contract year. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know what Barnett's doing. I just don't see how Jalen Reagor could be out of shape. I mean, you're only but 100. You know what I'm saying? You're only soaking wet about 185 pounds. Like, what is he? But it shouldn't take long for these guys to get ready. I mean, we're still a month out of the season, but like you said, I think it just becomes discipline and where your mental is, but also, like with the young fella and losing his friend, I think that probably played an impact. Barnett, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on with Barnett, man. So, like I said, a lot of questions coming out of this training camp. Any of y'all boys been up to the camp yet? Y'all check them out yet? No,
not this year.
Chris,
I was going to though, but didn't.
All right.
I like what I'm hearing from Devontae. You know what I mean? Those are things you want to hear.
What did you hear from Devontae?
So I know, was it Slade that was talking about him, or was it Maddox? I think Maddox was like, okay, this kid has some things I ain't never seen before.
Right.
And so you want to kind of hear those things.
Yeah.
So that just means that, what you've seen on tape, because the tape don't lie, and all them games he done played on that college level at the biggest school in the country against some of the toughest competition in the country is the real deal. Because he's figured out a way to be able to separate, use his speed, although he's only 160 pounds, granted, give or take a couple pounds, he's able to maneuver on the field like players have never seen before. So that's a good thing coming out. Now, I don't know if he's hyping him up, but I think he's just being honest. Like, I think, the way he moves, his abilities are something I haven't seen.
Yeah. I mean, shit, it's the Eagles, right? When's the last time you saw the last time you saw a receiver of a caliber, of this come in here? So, I
do hope he gets stronger and a little bit bigger. I don't know if he will or if he wants to, because he's been that size probably his whole life, but I do hope, because durability is key in the next level. And You're not playing 11 games or 13 or 14 games. You're
Yeah,
playing 16
17.
games.
17.
17 now. Yeah, in a
Yeah.
regular season plus, hopefully, 4 more. So, uh, I hope he's able to kind of get a little bit stronger, a little thicker on, up
He will.
top. And
He will. That'll take time. That'll
yeah,
take time. Yeah, Mike. Maybe I might be wrong. Maybe it was Goddard. I thought it was Barnett. I
oh, it's
swear.
Goddard.
Was it Goddard? It don't. Both of them though. It don't matter. It's one. Those two guys are looked at right now as cornerstones of this team, whether it be Goddard or Barnett. One, I mean, these are the young new leaders that we need to step up. So it doesn't matter. You might be right. It could be Goddard, but I thought it was Barnett. But if it was Goddard, it doesn't change the comment. I mean, there's no excuse. There's no excuse.
That's a
Both of them
double
on
shame.
contract year. Both of them on contract year. No excuse whatsoever to come up to camp, being a professional, and not being in shape. So you know what I mean. But we got plenty of time to talk about the Birds, man. We got plenty of time to talk about the Birds. We're early, but I wanted to get some of that Bird conversation out, man, because I know that is starting to kind of pump up on the airways. So want to do a recap of gambling. So last week I didn't do any plays. I was out. Did some plays last night. Looked promising. You know how that is. Looked good. Started off strong. Didn't end well. The Phillies. I just can't with the Phillies. I don't even know why I didn't bet the Phillies. I thought they had a pretty good matchup with the Pirates to bounce back. They got blanked 7-0 on the 30th, if I'm not mistaken, and then they had Nola on the mound. I thought, they there was a shot there, but obviously, the Phillies are the Phillies. We won though on the over in the Atlanta and the Brewers game. The White Sox were up. They were up 7. They were up 6-1 by the time top of the fifth, and then Cleveland scored almost 10 unanswered, dog. 10 in baseball, not basketball, and baseball. They scored 10 unanswered, and then the White Sox came firing back, and they lost by 1, 12-11. So that was a hurt piece. And then doing my UFC plays, a little up and down in UFC yesterday. Had a couple good plays. A lot of big favorites lost. A couple big favorites that I had lost. Had his shot. Had the guy in trouble. It was Witt and Barbarian or whatever how you say his name. And then the main event, Hall was it was a mop. If y'all don't know who Hall is the guy who had that who Chris Wyman fought and broke his leg in like the first 20-30 seconds.
He looked terrible.
He looked terrible. He looked like he didn't want to be in there.
Yeah, I mean, he fought like as far as surviving, but
no, I mean, Strickland's not no slouch. Like Strickland's the real deal.
for sure.
But that was Hall time to kind of shine and get out the bottom tier of that middleweight division, and he flopped. He completely flopped. And you would think that he came up. So out of the plays yesterday, wasn't a good day. Wasn't a good day yesterday. So we're going to come back strong today and get some of those losses from yesterday. Chris, man, what you been doing, man? I haven't talked to y'all boys about betting in a couple of days, man. So anything have you been betting this week with baseball, or you kind of been taking it easy, building the bankroll up? What's up?
Yeah, man, I've been kind of chilling on the sports bets the past couple of weeks, really since the finals. But I got out to the poker table a couple times, played a little roulette, little craps. I've been getting at it. I think I'm probably up net like 300 over the past week and a half, so I can't complain. It's a win. So just been getting those juices flowing, but nothing on the sports betting side. Just kind of getting ready for the football season, really.
All right, keep that thought too, because it's going to be a lot of people that's in the same boat as you. And how you navigate that throughout the kind of, I guess, off season or a season when you don't bet. B Diddy, man, what's up, man? I know you always in something.
Yeah, I mean, up a couple units in the baseball over this past week. I had a good day. I want to say Thursday. I hit on a couple. Um, Made a crazy bet. Actually, it was an accident that
It was an
cost
accident.
cost. Yeah, it was an accident. That cost me some money, but besides, I mean, I think the picks have been solid for the most part. But like I said, I kind of slow down during when it's only baseball season because you just never know throughout the season how games are going to go, especially now with pitchers not going as deep into the games as they used to, and you having
Yeah.
to rely on the bullpens. It's pretty tough. And if I am going to look at a game, look at the first fives. Um, so that's kind of where I'm at, up a couple units. And then I also too, I've been at the poker tables too, just been dibbling and dabbling, just been having some time to be able to hit the table. So
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. What's up, Molly Maw? Appreciate you jumping on, man. Um, yeah, I obviously I've been out, but I've been paying attention. Like both of you, obviously we're all poker players here. So when I get healthy and get through the quick quarantine process, I mean, I'll probably see you boys on the felt as well.
mm,
Oh, it's all love, bro. It's all love. You know
hmm
that. um, but I want to swing back around though, because since it's kind of like a dead period or a quiet period, one of the good things I like about this period is that we can reevaluate our bankroll. And I cannot stress that enough about bankroll management. That's a big deal when you get into the gambling game. So if, for all you guys listening here, bankroll management is pretty much where you just have your allocated funds specifically for gambling. And I'm not talking about looking at your bank account. I'm not saying, okay, yo, so I got mortgage, I got my car payment, I got my insurance, and I say I got about $100 or a couple $100 here where I know I could take a loss. No. That's playing with house money. What we're talking about in bankroll management is a set aside amount of money that you don't give a shit whether you let me take that back. You do give a shit if you lose it, but it does not affect any of the other plans or other play or other responsibilities that you might have. This is a set aside amount of money. Think about it as like an investment fund. When you put money aside or you have money coming out of your account to go into your broker's account, it's the same concept. This is money set aside specifically to sports gamble. So then when you put your play in, when you put your unit in or your half a unit in or whatever you want to put in, you know you have a great feeling that I know everything from a responsibility standpoint is taken care of. This is the bankroll that I have for my sports gambling. So during baseball season, we typically pull back from being all full forward with our bets. So and with football, if you think about the week when football season is full swing, we got Monday Night Football. Do they play college play on Tuesday? No, it's
yeah,
almost
usually the
that.
Mac schools.
Yeah, a couple schools play on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday is quiet. Third Thursday night football, and you have college. Obviously, Friday is college. Saturday is college, and then you got Sunday right there for NFL Sunday. So if you think about the week when football season starts, there's probably only about 1 or 2 days where there's a potential that you won't bet anything. I know Chris is big into college, and we'll get into those college previews, coming up too, as well. But if you think about it from the week from Sunday to Sunday, there's about 5 to 6 days of possible bets, and then not even that. Baseball's still going on, right?
Mhm.
And then you have basketball at the tail end that comes back around too. So obviously, you could potentially bet every single day. So the one thing that we want to talk about is some tips and tricks for you during this kind of quiet period. Because if you're not a baseball guy and don't bet baseball, don't bet, right? Don't force it. Don't try to chase just to get those juices. As you heard the guys talk about, they're playing poker, they're playing craps, they're playing roulette. They're doing something else outside of sports gambling just to keep that itch from making them don't make them making a bad decision in terms of betting. So one of the key things that I do is I always pay myself when I get paid whether it be from my businesses or from my paycheck. I pay myself to keep my bankroll up and healthy. And what do I mean by that? So what I mean by that is, as soon as I get some type of money, I'm paying myself and putting money to the side in another account for my bankroll. So whether that be, it's counting on what your scale is. Whether it's $25, it's $50, $100, 500, $500. However you want to look at it or think about it, that is a way that I do to kind of pay myself first. And when I say pay myself first, I literally mean that. Soon as I get my check, unless you have some automatic deposits that go, I mean transactions that happen. But if you're one that manages all your money that goes out and you go to your account and you hit pay bill and all that, before I even do that, I pay myself first. And trust me, it is a different type of feeling when you know you're paying yourself first before you pay anybody else. You know what I mean? It's actually a trick that I learned through business, that one of the best things you can do is pay yourself first and then you pay off your bills. It's just a good trick of the trade to do, man. So, B Diddy, man, talk to me, man. Let me know, you know, outside of the poker and some of the other things that you do to kind of keep your mind at bay to make sure you get that fix in terms of bankroll management, what are some tricks or some things that you do knowing that you're not going to be gambling as much at this moment,
Mhm.
that you do to make sure that your bankroll is always healthy, so when you come football season you're full go?
I mean, well, this is a time that you're hoping for, like, to have a dead period, because usually you're always looking for action, right? Usually,
For sure.
your sports gamble, you're always looking for action some way, somehow. Unfortunately, you got the U.S. Olympics that's now pushed back into deeper in the summer, so you're watching TV and you're seeing something, you're like, oh, well, it looks good. Let me just jump in here. Um,
Hey
but
man, we got
also,
to talk about Simone too.
yeah, well, I mean, but anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But usually you don't have these. I feel like a lot of things have happened over this summer between Gold Cup. You had the Euros. You now have Olympic. It's just a lot of these off sporting major sports events that's been happening. So it's keeping us engaged as far as, oh, there could be action here. But
Yeah,
ultimately, for me, when basketball is done, I usually leave this spot as, just like you said, to regroup. You know what I mean? Build that bankroll up, because we know football season's right around the corner and we're going to be getting after it. So, um,
sure.
take the time to step away. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's nice out, especially in the Northeast or all over the country where it's summertime. Enjoy that time. And that's your opportunity to, like you said, pay yourself, to start building that bankroll before football season comes, because you want to make sure you have enough of risk capital to
There
start
you
throwing some action. And
go.
if
Yeah,
you don't have it, then don't do it, because, like you said, we're not trying to bet on our houses. Like, this is just entertainment purposes only,
yeah,
and keep
for
us
sure.
entertained in sports.
Yeah,
And it can be very dangerous because there's so much accessibility to gamble right now. Sports gamble. It's advertised on television. It's advertised everywhere. Billboards. We have a show about it. I mean, it's just so much accessibility that can be dangerous for certain people. So, bet at your own risk, ultimately, at the same time. But yeah, man, that's all. That's the best way to do it for me. Just take a
what up?
break and build it up.
What up, Don? Appreciate you jumping on here, bro. Chris, man, I wanna talk about the same thing, but kind of use your experience from what you've done, because you're a degenerate when you gamble. So, so you have, I think we've in the archives we've had a couple stories that you've told, and we all looked at each other like, damn, dog, like you gonna have to chill, man.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me see. What are ways on how you build up your bankroll? Like here's a period right now, right? You're not heavily in betting baseball. Are you one of those folks that, like you said, you running back to the casino, back to some of your roots, and using your bankroll that way? Or how are what's a kind of trick or something that you do on how to build your bankroll, so when football comes around, you're full go?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's a lot of things, right? But for me, it's about staying focused to your your base, right? Like your core, what you do, right? So some people, like you said, might be baseball betters, might be football betters, might be they might be in the casino, whatever it is. So for me, poker is my baseline when it comes to gambling. That
Yeah.
I play poker, and I've played poker longer and been more successful than sports betting. Now, when I do sports betting, I play football. I bet football hard. That's kind of so. Those are kind of like my two things.
Yeah.
So I think, I think in general to the conversation, excuse me, about how to navigate this, man. I think it really starts by understanding what your core is, because, like you said, you can't do everything. Because if you do it, you just increase the probability that you're going to lose if you do everything, right? If you go into the casino, if you playing
Stick to
blackjack,
what you know.
craps, poker, slot machine, if you betting baseball, UFC, football, college football, basketball, it's like you can't be an expert at everything. I believe. So I think you focus on where your core is, and then maybe dabble in other things when you're successful. So for me, I actually just reset my bankroll, being after the basketball season ended, and
And when you say reset,
um,
what do you mean by reset?
I just kind of look at the wins losses, right? You
Yeah.
know, total, right, from the last season. Just say, hey, that was that almost like that season's over, right? Like no different if you actual football players. Like the season over, you reset how you did, you looked at ways to improve, you go to the summer training, you start working out, getting ready for the next season. And I think that's what it is for me. So it's just forgetting what I lost, forgetting the bankroll that was in place for the basketball season and so forth, and resetting now going into football season. So just kind of starting from scratch, refilling the tank, kind of how you said, just taking a certain amount that I'm comfortable with and saying, hey, this is going to be it from now to January. And if that works, it works. If not, then not. But I'm not sweating it irregardless. So setting that number and then setting a budget weekly to maintain that number. So I'm not losing it all right now before football season even starts.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at now. Just kind of taking it slow and steady, but starting over from a total kind of bankroll. If I could do well now, then great. That'll add on to the bankroll once football season done.
Yeah.
But if I lose a certain amount now, which I've set a limit of what I'm willing to lose before football season, then I'll stop that way too. So
Nice. 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 I like that. I like how you set almost rules for yourself, and you got to stay disciplined enough to keep yourself in that pocket of rules, so you know when football season come around, I'm good from a
mhm.
bankroll management thing. All right, that's dope, man. I like that, fellas. But I want to circle back around, man, because this one is this little issue, not issue, but this topic has been floating around, and I want to see what because you guys are both competitors, and everybody else out there has had an opinion about this special woman, Simone Biles, that has uh, had some mental issues that coming with the pretty much the crown of being considered the GOAT, being on the biggest stage, and trying to navigate her way through the Olympics, and by staying, as positive as she can. So, story is that I forget what they called it, but something that gymnasts go through that typically where their body and their mind are not in sync, and they have a name for it, a technical name for gymnasts, but supposedly her body's not listening to what her mind is saying. And she's come on and she spoke candidly about it. And I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on this because we've all seen different people from different angles say this and say that. And I have an opinion about it. And I just want to see if my opinion is the same as y'all opinion and how y'all seeing this kind of playing out. And I don't want to be on here bashing her, right? But at the same time, um, you know, I think that it is what she did was brave. And in terms of she stepped away right at a time where she felt her mental capacity was too much at this point, and it was at a crazy time, right? Because it's like Jordan saying that I can't play in Game 6, 3-2. You know what I mean? Or Tom saying I can't play in the Super Bowl right now. This is too much at this moment. Are you guys taking this the same way that I'm taking it? Or are you seeing it a little bit different, that she's saying everything she needs to say in front of the media, but obviously we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So there could be a lot more, but she is getting killed about, you can't be the GOAT and just take a break. Even though we've seen it, but
Come on, Nate.
talk to me.
First off, she's super, super brave by what she's doing. I'll give you a couple of reasons why she's super brave. And her sport is not like other sports, but they're very similar as far as what you're comparing them to. We have superstar athletes, like you said, Michael Jordan, who also did step away from the game.
Yep.
Also, after three back to back championship, he stepped away and played baseball. That has to be a mental break for him too.
For sure. Absolutely.
The unfortunate part is, are we saying that she's choosing to feel this way? Like, that's just crazy. So I think the critiques of Simone Biles is really, really crazy. You're talking about the greatest of all time in her sport.
Yep. Right.
That's now grown up. Right. She's now 24 years old. Has been doing this sport since she was a 4-year-old. Have been doing it at this level since she's 14, 15, 16 years old.
And remember, she had that doctor who.
Right. She's been through all that.
Yeah, the doctor who was sexual abusing all the girls.
But you got to look at it. Sometimes I think people are not really understanding is that the things that she does are well out of the normal of what people can do. So if your mind and your body is not synced together, and you have to do a quadruple, triple, double, whatever you want to do, and land on your feet at 24, at some point, as she gets older and more mature, her mind is saying, this is not smart, right? So I think that's what she's battling with is, am I able to get past that mentally to still produce of what I'm doing on this mat or these poles? Because it's a hard ground, right? If I fall, break a leg, it's my leg I'm breaking. It's my career I'm destroying. So I'd rather be 100% into this to do some tricks that she does than not. And I think people need to realize we don't know when that time happens. If we're playing football, like we've played football, and we're worried about getting hurt, we all know what's going to happen. We're going to get hurt because we're not going to go full throttle. We're going to pull up at certain times when we shouldn't pull up, and then we're going to possibly get hurt. So that's we've known that from the door. When we came in the game, it's like, hey, you're not going to be 100%. Don't play because you're going to get hurt. And I think that's where Simone Biles is now. She should get the respect because she's earned the respect.
I agree.
To say, hey, listen, guys, I don't want to embarrass you or us, so I'm going to pull out right now because this is not the product that I'm used to giving out. And I think it's more importantly that she could have went a different direction. She could have just said, hey, I'm hurt. I'm a hamstring, right? She could have just gave you an excuse. But she's saying, no, you know what? I'm not hurt. I'm just mentally not there, which is as of an injury. So I think that's brave for her to do that because we all thought she was just hurt when she landed on that arm or that leg. And she could have carried that through the rest of the whole thing and did her own thing. Yeah. But I think ultimately she's being brave enough, pushing it out there and speaking for a lot of athletes that are afraid to. And I think that's really important. She should be commended more on that than what some of these dumbass critics are saying how she's a quitter. And a quitter? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
She's come on, stop. So that's just my opinion. She will have
take the word quitter. Phone flipped upside down and shit.
Right. I mean, that's just my view. I hope your view is not too far off that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't care if it was game 7.
I got to play devil's advocate.
I feel you.
Like as I need to. So because I I'm definitely with you. I agree with you, and Chris, I'm gonna let you speak on it as well. That I think that what she's doing is super brave, and a lot of people in her shoes at her level couldn't do it, and we've seen it time and time again. I mean, the
Hmm.
greatest of the greats could not step away when the pot is at its hottest. She's in the Olympics. She's
Hmm.
at the Olympics and saying and thinking about herself because this could go a couple ways. She could continue, right, and then don't live up to the bill, and then that starts a depression, a downward spiral
Hmm.
that we've hear about how these athletes deal with that stuff on the back end, right? Whether it be drugs, whether it be, alcohol. There's a lot of different things of outlets that she could have chose to go through,
Hmm.
but she chose to, when the lights are the brightest, to stand up in the light and say, "Hey, I need to take a time out real quick here. I need to step away. I'm not into this right now." And at this level, I know what it takes to get here. I know what it takes to win, and I'm not there. Now, some of her words I think could have been used better. Like she's like, "I'm not having fun." I mean, that's going to be grand, right? You're not always going to have fun when you compete. But maybe that's her safe. Maybe that's
Hmm.
when she's at her best. So, Chris, I don't want to take too much of your thunder, what you might say, but what do you think? Are you on the boat of she's do? I mean, obviously, I think we all think that she's doing the right thing, but being who she is, being at the level she is, the competitor in you. Let's not forget Villanova, world champs over there. Being the competitor that you are, you know, like Brent was saying, you're not 100%. You're not. You're possibly could hurt. Would you step away and say, "Hey, I can't. This is not a good time for me to be playing right now." Because I personally, I've never stepped away from a game, regardless if I was hurt or not. I was sick. I just never. It's never. It's something that's not in me. The coach is going to have to take me out of the game. You're going to have to pull me off the field. You know what I mean? For me to step away. I don't think I have the strength or the bravery to step up and say, "Hey, I can't do this right now."
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. I mean, obviously, being football players, we're the same way. It's kind of like built into you, right? Of like you leave, you leave it. It's such a, just moxie and just like dig into your soul and who's gonna quit first, right? That's what football is, right? Like that's the test of like how bad you want, how much you're competing. Like it's all the storylines you hear from 100 years of football, everything that you've been told for playing football for 20 years. So it's kind of built into you as a football player. I think in this situation, I've tried to, when I thought about it, and I knew we were going to talk about it, I tried to step back a little bit and try to understand what this sport is. And like you said, there's actually a medical term for this, right? And when I think about that, that makes me feel like it's a real thing, right? If they've already established a medical diagnosis for it, then this
Right.
thing must be legit, right? That other
I think it's called the
people,
twisty. That's
yeah.
somebody
So
else rule
Hmm.
said it.
it's a real thing, right? So I have to respect that, and because I don't know it, I don't know the sport in depth. It's only so much I can speak on how that's in play versus if this was Michael, LeBron or KD or something saying I don't want to play Game 7, right? Or a baseball player, a football player saying I don't want to play in the Super Bowl. So there's a gray area there I can't really speak on, which I would just leave it to um, it's something real. But I think, like you guys said, I think she's brave for what she's saying,
Hmm.
and the spot that she's in, I certainly can believe in. It makes a lot of sense. I guess my only thought, if I had to play devil's advocate, or if I had to look at it from my football mentality, would be why do it right as the Olympics is starting? Right, the timing of it allows people, I think, to criticize you, right? To say it's more than just this, maybe or whatever. Versus if this was 2 months ago, a month ago, 3 months ago, and it's like, hey, I've been training and I'm getting ready for Olympics. It's just not working. This is what I'm going through right now. I think I'm gonna sit out this Olympics. I think that would make a lot more sense to a lot of people versus, that rather. that's if Tom Brady says I can't play in the Super Bowl the day before the Super Bowl, it's like, well, if you knew you had these
You
issues,
got to think hell is freezing over if Tom said, like, if you know what I mean.
right?
Like, I think the fact that she's a woman, a black woman too, you know, that's tough, right? But if you had Tom or Mike, you know, you got to really think that like they would get the benefit of the doubt more than she is right now.
Yeah, true. But that's what I'm saying. I think if I had to nitpick it and see where the criticism is coming, I think it looks at the timing of it and saying, hey, if you knew you were going through these things anyway, yeah, maybe you could have been trying to push through it and so forth. But you could have, the timing of it makes it feel like it's something else. But in general, I think it's hard. I think there's parts about it mentally that I just don't know. And like Brent said, given what you're putting your body through, it's far greater than me just playing on a a swollen wrist, or my ankle's hurting, or like I got a tight hamstring. It's like I could just push through that. But like Brent said, if I gotta jump in the air and grab a pole, or I'm gonna fall and break my neck or some shit, like it's like you know what, this needs to be on point. So I would lean towards the criticism is unwarranted, and she's in a tough spot and she's doing the best she can. So.
Yeah. Nate, I just want to add one more thing just to caveat off you. I know we got to move on. Is that, Chris, I think to what you're saying too, we don't know when this came upon her, right? Like, I don't know if she has been struggling because, like I said, we got to think like Simone has been working toward this moment again to the Olympics for years.
Yeah. Years.
So people not realizing like, hey, she's just not choosing. I'm sure she's just not choosing to just say, I'm stepping back. She'd worked for 4 years really because of the COVID to be back in Tokyo. So, and she did an event, like she did one of her events. I think that's when it really hit her in the face. Like,
I ain't here.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
And like I said, if the twisty is a real thing, it's one of the things that she's like, I can't move forward without being mentally attached to my body. I have to pull out. So it's probably just as difficult, although she's doing it with a smile on her face and being honest about it, not making any excuses. I think it's more difficult for her that a person has been training for years, not for off season, not for a week in preparation, for multiple years and an extra year to get in that one spot again. She's known as the GOAT. It's harder for her than anybody else to try to critique her. That's where I get upset because, like, bro, you can't do a flip, not less a triple, quadruple, 13 feet in the air and land on your feet without making a step forward or back. Right. So can you imagine the best that be able to do that and not
can't do cartwheels, man?
Yeah. Can you imagine Tom Brady just wake up the day before the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl and can't throw an out route or can't throw the ball downfield because his arm's not moving the way it's supposed to?
Right.
Yeah.
Like that would probably be mentally disturbing to him too. I'm talking about not being able to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So people got to look at it that way, not like Tom Brady's going to push through the pain.
Right.
What if he just couldn't make a throw? Like his arm just can't do it. I think that's the comparison we need to start making.
Ben Simmons.
Good point.
No.
He just can't shoot.
That nigga don't care. He just can't shoot. I'm sorry. That man can't. That man, he ain't got no twisted hips. He ain't got no heart.
No, Ben Simmons.
He missing this right here.
Yeah, Ben Simmons. No.
He missing that work ethic.
He missing a lot, huh?
He missing more than just like the twisty. So we ain't gonna throw him in there.
We ain't gonna throw him in there. All right.
No, but we seen pitchers do it. We seen pitchers.
We seen a lot.
Pitchers all of a sudden can't throw a baseball. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine having the yips? And I'm saying, and I know somebody wrote the comments that the yips and the twisty is different, but can you imagine as a pitcher that you done and got to the highest level in MLB, and then one day I can't throw the ball. I can't throw a strike.
Yeah, it's not happening.
How crazy is that for your mental?
Yeah, for sure. And just wanted to throw up there, man. I know it's been up there for a while, but many of us and our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. And here at A2D Radio, and obviously with the support of MoneyPot Podcast, we are happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need mental health therapy or addiction detox, please call 856-651-8117 and tell them Tom and MoneyPot sent you, man. We for us, it's easy to sit here and critique, to judge, and that's end up ultimately what we're doing. But I think it was important to kind of bring this whole concept up because I've seen a lot of comments and, being sick and just reading these comments of how she's really getting blasted right
Mhm.
now about what is going on. And like I said, the bravery of her, of that woman right there is uncanny. And a lot of people in her spot, the Michael Jordans, the Tom Brady's, couldn't do it, wouldn't do it. They would go out there and not be themselves than to say, hey, I can't do this right now. Obviously, different sports, different concepts. We're talking about one game versus, she has multiple events. But, shout out to Simone Biles for doing the right thing for her and her mental health. Let's see here. Fuck all the way off comparing Simmons.
Mhm.
Were y'all surprised he was still in the Sixers, man, after the draft?
Oh my god.
Were y'all surprised? Oh man. Oh man. Chris, what you do? I can't get I let Brent put himself in a better mental state before I get to Brent. You know what I mean? Chris, was you surprised he was a Sixer still?
Simmons?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't, because once I started hearing reports of what the Sixers wanted,
Yo, did y'all see that?
I think they must think that no one else seen the games. They must. That's what they
Like
clearly.
it
That's
was,
what they
hold
think.
on, what was it? It was so what was the one for it was 4 first round picks, Wiseman,
and
Wiggins, and was
What?
there something else?
That was Wiseman, Wiggins, like 3 and 4 first round picks, including the 7 and 13 2 lottery picks.
Right.
I was
Right.
like, that's the. I thought I was unrealistic sometimes when I asked for things from people.
Let me ask y'all this. Is he a generational player?
No,
He's not? Because I
no,
disagree. I think he is. I
generational
still
player.
think he is.
How? What's a generational player that I have to pull out of the game?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying from a skill set wise.
But what does that mean, though? What does that mean to me if it doesn't produce anything? So it's just is it
He's produced.
Lamar Odom was a generational player. We can start going down
Lamar
players.
Odom wasn't a
Like,
generational player.
how is he at the time of Lamar Odom? At the
Out
time
of Rhode Island? Yes, he was.
Lamar Odom was 6'11", doing exactly what Ben Simmons doing. Like, actually, I told somebody
Oh,
Ben
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about somebody else. I thought you
Yeah,
were
I'm
talking
about
about
to say
the center.
Lamar Odom was
Lamar
definitely
Odom
a
was
Yeah, yeah,
generational
yeah.
player.
I thought you were talking about the center. My bad.
Lamar Odom was 6'11", 15
Oh, Greg
years
Oden.
ago.
Greg Oden. Yeah, I was talking about Greg
15
Oden.
years ago, hand on the ball, playing point guard, can defend 1 through 5, can assist, play make. I mean, it's exactly Ben Simmons in essence. It's literally he's better than Ben Simmons. Lamar Odom is better than Ben Simmons. They're doing the same exact things, right? But Lamar Odom just can shoot. It's just better. So it's I can't be stuck on, oh, he can do this and he's generational and you don't see this type of talent. That means nothing if you can't produce. And right now, for me,
Yeah.
it's more than enough time. Like I always say, when you look at the history tells us, when you look at the franchise players, the generational players, the superstar players, the players you build around and end up winning championships and so forth, you
Mm-hmm.
see it year 1 through 4. You see there is a catapult to stardom or to undeniable. This person is it. Every star to me. And if you
Okay.
even if you look at the current players, the Devin Bookers of the world, the Donovan Mitchells of the world, the Luka Doncic of the world, like the Jason Tatum's of the world, right? Their year 1 is like, okay, year 2 is like, okay, year 4, like this person is there. There's no questioning it. Ben
Mm-hmm.
Simmons year 5, or I think right year 5, right?
That's
Ben Simmons is
this
year 5,
or
and
5.
he's went downhill. There's no blueprint that person then becomes a franchise player. You can't point to one franchise player that would have taken the route that Ben Simmons is taking. So I'm not going to roll the dice. I'm not going to make that bet. And that's how I feel about Ben Simmons. So I wasn't surprised though to answer the question, because the Sixers still think that he's 2 years ago when people thought he was the greatest thing ever, which is when I said on record they should trade him and get everything that they can for him. But
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's a hard pull for the GM in that moment. But whoever can pull it, and it doesn't matter what happens, should have pulled it. Now you're just in a tough spot. But the ask is unrealistic, and that's the
Yeah,
problem. Like,
that was the one trade. What was the other trade? Y'all remember the other trade? There was another trade out there to Cleveland, I think it was, and it was everything under the sun for in Cleveland. It was like every young player in Cleveland for Ben.
Why would I do that? That makes no sense in the world to do that for Ben Simmons. On the fact that I know I need to surround Ben Simmons with a whole bunch of talent for it to even be anything. So how can I give away my talent to get him? What they should do,
Go ahead.
is just offer Ben Simmons for players that's leaving. Dame Lillard, Bradley Beal.
Well, Bradley ain't going nowhere.
Right, he's not going no more. But
hypothetically,
he's not going. But those are the type of trades where it's like, let me look at the situations around the league. And the Wizards, before Bradley Beal says he's going to stay there, or maybe he lingers on a contract, it's like, well, they might be in a situation like we might not get anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's just take a shot, because other than that, we're not going to have a chance at a generational player. So I think you got that, or you're down to Zach LaVine's or Kemba Walker's or those type of players. Is kind of just where you're at. You can't be asking for a bunch of first-round players and young talent, and James Wiseman, and what are you doing? You're not trying to trade them. I don't know. That's how I look at it. So that's why I'm not surprised. I think it's going to rain until they smarten up or come to reality. So
go ahead, Brent. Talk to us about your boy Ben.
Oh man, shit, man. Listen, I'm not wasting too much time on a person who don't like the game that he's getting paid millions and millions of dollars to play. Hey man, more salute to Ben Simmons, because he's staying who he is. It's fuck it. That's ultimately who he is. Fuck it. I am who I am. Like he said in many interviews, it is what it is. I am what I am. It is what it is. That's his mental, and that's who he is. Right. He's now in California in his nice Olympic-sized pool, laid back, chilling, looking at that $19 million home from the pool view. Yeah. And hey, it's a good view. God bless him. God bless his life. Salute to him. He made it without having a fucking shot. You want to talk about generational player? He is a generational player. The only player in the history of the game that will not shoot the basketball in a game that requires you to shoot the basketball. He's made it to the pinnacle. All Rookie of the Year, All-Star, a Defensive Player awards. He's made it to the pinnacle without a jump shot, without able to shoot the basketball. He is generational. He is generational. That has never been done. And now he's sitting, like I say, he's sitting in his $19 million mansion. God bless him. But at the end of the day, I don't want him on the Sixers anymore. God bless you, bro. Wherever you just get off this team, please. So Bleacher Report just put out an opportunity saying that a new trade suggestion, which is pretty interesting. Sixers moving Simmons to the Raptors with a modified offer that contains Ben Simmons and George Hill to Toronto for Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry in a sign and trade deal with a 2023 first round pick and a 2025 first round pick.
Okay.
That's interesting. But whatever we got to take.
Siakam, though, they wouldn't give up Siakam. No.
Well, Siakam made a quick turn. Did they pay Siakam yet?
I'm not even sure.
I don't know if they paid Siakam yet, so they got to worry about having to pay him. But that's all the time you're going to get from me on Ben Simmons.
On Ben Simmons. Well, it's going to be his summer's almost over, so we'll see. It wouldn't surprise me if he's in a Sixer uniform. Actually, no. At this point, I think it will, because they've been trying to trade him for a little bit, and I don't see how he comes back.
I don't know how he can come back in a Sixers uniform. I don't even know how he will be. I don't know what he can do as a Sixer as far as going back to a full stadium. Before the tip-off, he's going to get booed. He's going to be booed throughout the whole game. Every time he touched the ball, he'll be booed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So why bring him back? Just trade his ass. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. Stop trying to get so much.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. There was a couple plays out there that I would have did. I think the one in Indiana, what was it, Brogdon and whatever their pick was for Simmons. Mm-hmm. And I think we actually talked about that was actually a decent enough trade that we thought in terms of value. Mm-hmm. But, hey, man, reach for the stars. Keep shooting. Somebody will do something, man.
Ain't too many people hit a star yet.
Nope, not at all.
And ain't too many people hit a star. So you keep reaching for the star. We're gonna be sitting right here with number 25 on the bench of the 76ers.
That'd be insane, though. That'd be insane. So before we close out here, man, we usually do this in the beginning, man, but I guess we got kind of bogged down in different things that we talked about. But y'all got any best bets, man? What's up, man? You got any plays today? Chris, let's start with you, Chris, because I know you said you're kind of in the off season for you, looking at bankroll. Have you even looked, or you keep yourself away?
Yeah, man. I just keep myself away, man. I don't even want to
Good man.
get part of accountability and strategy, man.
There you
I
go.
don't even want to get teased.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear, man. So I won't even pull you in real quick. Brent, man, you got that eye. I see you looking. You got that
Yeah,
eye.
I'm.
Got for me.
I was just looking back at the Phillies here. Kyle Gibson makes his first debut for the Philadelphia Phillies on the
Yeah, I was
mound.
looking at that too.
I actually like the Phillies. I don't think they get swept
Yeah,
by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Come on now. like
right?
what
Like,
what are
what are
we
we
doing? We
doing?
done fought
Right.
all the way this way to get back to even. I know we're down 2 games again, but you're not going to lose. And I think Kyle Gibson's going to probably have a good game here against the Pittsburgh Pirates. So that might be a good play there. I would probably go first half. They're going against I want to say Mitch Keller, who's not good at all, who's going to be able to give up a lot of runs over his last. I think this is almost like probably a bullpen game. So his last 2 games, he only lasted 2 innings. Um, he's given up 4 runs, 2 runs, 5 runs, 2 runs, 7 runs, all under 5 innings. I mean, you might want to look at Philadelphia Phillies team totals. If it's
Okay.
4.5, go over 4.5. If it's 5.5, maybe. But I think they're going to put up some runs today. They have to. They have to beat the Pittsburgh Pirates. You cannot get swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates and think anybody wants to take you seriously. So that's one game I'm looking at. I'm also looking at the Mets here with Marcus Stroman on the mound. He's been pretty dominant all year with a pretty good ERA at 2.63. So, but the Cincinnati Reds are pretty tough. They can kind of put the ball, all around the baseball field, and they score runs. So I'm kind of like just a lean for me. And there was one more game I did have highlighted. Sorry, give me 2 seconds.
No, you good.
Oh, the Gold Cup. So you got United States, Mexico. I want to say the total is 2.5. I think there's going to be some goals here, man. But I'm still doing some research. I'll put it into the chat
All right.
so we can kind of take a look once I figure out.
What time that game come on? Oh,
That's
that's
a
a
night game. 8:30.
No, okay.
I'm going to look at it. I'm going to see how they're doing and what I'll be going in. But anyway, team total over for the Phillies. If you can get at 4.5, definitely go ahead and do that. 5.5, tread carefully. But I believe they should get 6 to 7, if not 8 runs this game. And hopefully have Kyle Gibson a good welcome to Philadelphia game for him.
So for those who have just joined us, typically we usually do a best bet here, man. But if y'all looking for some plays over the weekend, we give our plays for $9.99 a month, and I'm not talking about a daily plays. I'm not talking about weekly plays. I'm not talking about bi-weekly plays. I'm not talking about the whale plays that you see all these handicappers play and say, I'm 85% on my whale plays. Y'all seen it a million times, and y'all seen people do it, and then y'all go buy the plays, and guess what? They fucking lose, right? So what we're doing here is keeping it modest, keeping it low, right? There's a lot of other, perks on there, right? From the shout outs to members only show to appearances. But the thing that we sell on is the weekly picks for MoneyPot Podcast and myself and the guys. And we do this every week for Saturday and Sunday. So make sure join up on the plays. You should see it if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, get on YouTube. Go follow us on MoneyPot Podcast on YouTube. Hit that subscribe, hit that notification, or go to A2D Radio and go to YouTube. Hit the live. You should be able to see the join at the bottom, and you'll be able to join for the membership plays, man. And yesterday was a bad day, but there's always today. And I'm not going to lie, I don't hide from losing. A lot of people hide from losing. They don't want to talk about their losses. You always see their winning tickets. They don't talk about the tickets that they're losing. And for those who've been rocking with me and grinding with me, you see how, I am, we'll hit and then we'll hit, lose, and then we'll hit and then we'll lose, but then we'll hit and then we'll hit and then we'll hit and then we'll lose. And that's all it is. The trajectory just stays going up because in this game, you're going to lose. There's no doubt about it. You're going to lose when you bet. But the fact is that we win more than we lose is always key, man. So for those who've been with me from the beginning, I appreciate it. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a motherfucking friend. And but you'll see that we're going up. We continue to go up. And if you ain't up, at least I think since we started, I should have done a better job. But for my calculations, if I remember correctly, we were up at least by 5 units. And that's based on $100 bets. If you bet everything $100, because we hit a couple parlays on the run, and I'm not a big parlay advocator, but I know the fan base. I know we like the parlays. So we should be up at least 5 units. We took a blow yesterday, but we're still up, and that's the crazy thing. So for everybody who joined, man, thank you. If you hit that like, subscribe button. For Renzo, B Diddy, Moss Money, we out.
Peace.
Yo, come on, man. Yo, MoneyPot about to start.
I know, I'm coming, man.
Yeah, grab your notepad, man, for real.
Alright, dog, fuck it, man. Come on.
Yeah, man, they be spitting shit, man.
True.
Yeah.
Side-die.
Money pop, money talk. All they do is talk facts. Bird gang. All they do is talk stacks. 360 on the new view. Go run, tell the ad. 40-yard dash time. Moss Money Podcast time. S.co headline.